Well, greetings from Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. After flying in from the Steel City aboard United, it's time for me to make the somewhat long trek over to American side of things.
I guess it's much easier for you. Why is it so much easier for you?
Okay, and welcome to Terminal 3, where in this video, I'll be flying down to Charlotte, North Carolina, another one of American's largest hubs, on the 1219 flight aboard a Boeing 737-800 in first class. This terminal during the holidays is one of my favorite concourses to fly out of, as the decorations and architecture combined really gives off a nostalgic feeling, especially here in the H and K gates. As I already checked in online, received my mobile boarding passes, and am not traveling with checked luggage, I could just stay airside here and not have to clear security again or check in at the kiosks outside, which saved me some time as a snowstorm delayed my arrival in here from Pitt. My ride to the Queen City this afternoon will depart from this gate, K6, right across from the food court where there's a Starbucks, a deep dish pizza shop I go to occasionally, and some other concessions. The 737 I'll be flying will be pulling in very shortly from Dallas, but in the meantime I decided to connect to O'Hare's free Wi-Fi network, get some work done, and check out my flight's info. Inevitably, my plane showed up not long after this was shot, and 981AN, which has served all of its 12-year life flying for American Airlines. The Boeing 737-800 just so happens to be the aircraft model that reigns supreme in AA's fleet, making up the largest portion of it with a total of 303 planes. It certainly is a workhorse, and chances are you've probably flown on one of these yourself when flying American around the US. Anyone want to guess what would be the second largest aircraft type in their fleet? Well, that'd be the airplane I'm now shooting, the A321, with 218 in total added to AA's 303 738s. These two aircraft models make up roughly 58% of their mainline fleet.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you.
As I'm flying first class today, I boarded with Group 1 out of their 9 boarding groups. Concierge key members always board before all the groups, but first class is up next, along with active military and executive platinum, and ending with basic economy in Group 9.
Hello, how are you?
I bet you thought she'd say no filming on board, huh? Nope, not this time. The cabin interior today on this 737 is unfortunately American's Oasis hard product, which crunches more seats in together in economy and further slims down first class as well. There are a total of 16 seats up front here, arranged 2 across, followed by 30 main cabin extra seats and 126 main cabin seats behind the short divider. I had 3F on this flight. Before I go into the seat, sanitizing wipes were handed out to all passengers upon boarding, which American doesn't always do. Legroom up here for 6-foot me is really good, but I do feel it could be better for first class. In front, there is a small extendable seat back pocket, which is currently holding the safety card. Up top is a large literature slot with the American Way magazine residing inside. Now that these are retired, I guess that slot will just go empty. AA did do a minor update to first class in the past few years, which added a tablet holder, but there's still no PTVs. And now for the seat. Up top is a large adjustable headrest, which is nice, but when it comes to comfiness and padding, it's noticeably thin for supposedly American's best class. Same goes with the seat cushion. On the aisle and window armrests, a tray table can be found inside, which I'll open up later. And on the middle armrest is where the recline button is located, which, by the way, goes back maybe 4 to 5 inches at most. Also in the middle armrest is where some small storage space can be found, along with a universal power outlet and USB port. Before we knew it, we began our pushback and eventual taxi over to ORD's runway 28 right. Sitting all the way up here in first class gets you a fantastic view of the engine and the turbines on this 737, something I don't usually get to see. So I'm really gonna enjoy this flight down to North Carolina. After that gorgeous climb out of Chicago, we've now turned left and down to the south as we trek up to our cruising altitude of 39,000 feet, or nearly 12,000 meters today. The flight time down to Charlotte from O'Hare is 1 hour and 32 minutes, where we'll be passing over the states of Indiana, Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, and finally North Carolina, scooting by cities like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Lexington, and Kingsport, Tennessee. The route also takes us right over the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, so should see plenty of awesome views on this flight, as it's a nice day across much of the eastern US. And now for that promised look at the tray table up here in first. Like on the A319, there is a lever at the bottom, which when lifted conveniently lifts the tray out a bit for you to easily do the rest. It also can be folded out halfway or the entire way, but unlike the A319, this one has a sort of phone or tablet holder which doesn't really work that well if the item is heavy. But like I said, thankfully, American realized their mistake and have begun to add actual sturdy tablet holders to the seatback, dubbed their Kodiak interior. Unfortunately, on this flight, believe it or not, flight attendants did not come through the cabin even with a drink service to first class. So instead, here's a look inside the American way. I mean, it's quite a pity how American's first class service has deteriorated during COVID. It's very obvious they're just trying to cut costs due to the enormous amounts of money they lost, but to blame it all on safety through the entire pandemic is just blatantly lying to your customers' faces. I mean, you have to be brain dead to think it's because of safety. Anyway, as usual, I always like to flip through American's fleet list along with their hub and focus city airport diagrams, and finally their route maps in the back. There will still be quite a bit of domestic travel on the channel in the near future, but those international maps in the back are a hint at what's to come later down the road again on the channel. With the crew just leaving first class passengers to themselves, really all there was to do was just enjoy the views outside. If you do really want a drink though, you can always just ring the call button like I did and ask for a Coke, and voila, I have a drink. I'm not one for using the FA buttons that much, as I'd rather go and ask them in person, but today I had no choice. My seatmate was not the friendliest type. Like I said earlier, there are no personal TV monitors on this aircraft. In the past, and on their older 737s, they did provide one at every seat, and I actually had the chance to experience this on my flight from Chicago to LA earlier in 2020, but those are now all but gone in American's fleet, replaced by the Oasis and Kodiak product. So, if you want some entertainment not found out the window, your mobile device will have to suffice. Man, I'm getting some good rhymes in here. Once AA in-flight is clicked on in settings, American's in-flight entertainment homepage pops up. There, Wi-Fi can be purchased, which for this flight was $12. The flight duration is displayed up top, and Charlotte's weather can be seen below. Not quite as cold as Chicago, but still a little chilly. As for movies and TV shows, they're found under the Entertainment tab. I always find there to be a sufficient amount on American, with some flights having less and some having more. Most of the time international and transcon routes will have more. This one was kinda in the middle. Plenty of different genres and quite long lists of things to glue your eyes to. If the passenger so desires to look at news or listen to music, American also provides some articles, websites, and Apple Music to watch, listen to, and read. They used to have live TV channels and may bring them back, but on this flight they were not available due to COVID. If you may have caught how much time is left in the flight from my phone, we are pretty close to Charlotte. Our approach into the airport will actually take us south into South Carolina before swinging around back north into CLT. So as we continue our descent, enjoy some more fantastic views until we hit the brakes on runway 36 left.
We watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many times before. We look at the same old stars, battle the same old wars, like so many times before.
No, not at all.
So, after that quick flight in American 737-800 first class, my thoughts are, well, that it was just not what it should be. Now, I did get a really good price for it, so perhaps I didn't spend enough for a meal or even a drink service, but I'm gonna bet some of the others in my cabin spent much more than me. Aside from the obvious bad soft product, the hard product was, I'd say, 75% good. The extra space and roomier seats are nice, but again, it could and should be better if you're going to call it first class. Not just a wider seat, but also more comfortable and with some extra amenities like maybe free Wi-Fi or some free tablets to use, or possibly a footrest. I think it's pretty safe to say the Oasis product on American 737 is one of their worst, if not their worst, first class experience in the fleet, and it's quite deserving of that too. When you buy a premium ticket, you're supposed to feel like you get an upgraded experience, not just an upgraded seat, and I did not feel that way today from Chicago to Charlotte. That's just my honest opinion. But hey, at least we are coming into Concourse B here on time, as I still have one more connection down to Florida on what will be a much, much better product.
Thank you. See you later.
Hey, if you stay, stay.
Alright folks, and that'll conclude this video from here inside Charlotte Douglas International Airport. One more leg today from over in Concourse D, so in the meantime we'll need to grab a late lunch and scurry over there. Hope you guys at least tried to enjoy the ride in American's Oasis First Class today, and to see what it's all about. Thank you guys for watching, and catch ya on the next one.